Hello and welcome. I'm really glad you're here today. Let me start with a simple question. What if I told you that you don't need more grammar rules, you don't need expensive courses, you don't need to live in an English-speaking country, and you don't even need hours of study every day? What if improving your English speaking could come from one small daily habit? A habit so simple that most people ignore it. A habit you can do anywhere. A habit that slowly, quietly, but powerfully changes how you speak English. Today, I want to share that habit with you. Not as a trick, not as a shortcut, but as a realistic, human way to grow confidence and fluency, one day at a time. And I want you to listen carefully, because this habit doesn't just improve your English, it changes how you feel when you speak. The real problem with English speaking. Before we talk about the habit, we need to talk about the real problem. Most English learners don't struggle because they are lazy. They don't struggle because they are not smart. And they don't struggle because English is too hard. They struggle because speaking feels stressful. You might recognize this feeling. Your mind goes blank when someone speaks to you. You know the words, but they don't come out. You worry about mistakes before you even open your mouth. You translate in your head and get stuck. You feel confident alone, but nervous with people. This is not a language problem. This is a speaking pressure problem, and pressure blocks progress. So instead of asking, how can I learn more English? A better question is, how can I feel more comfortable using the English I already know? That's where today's habit comes in. The one daily habit. Speak out loud to yourself. Yes, that's it. The habit is speaking out loud to yourself in English every single day. Not writing, not memorizing, not studying rules, speaking. But before you think, that sounds silly, or that won't help, stay with me. Because the power is not in what you say. The power is in how often and how naturally you say it. Why this habit works, when others don't. Let's be honest. Most English study happens silently. Reading quietly, watching videos without speaking, thinking in your head, doing exercises on paper. But speaking is a physical skill. Your mouth, tongue, breath, rhythm, and confidence all need training. You wouldn't learn to swim by reading about swimming. It wouldn't learn to play piano by watching videos only. So why do we expect speaking to improve without speaking? Talking to yourself removes the biggest enemy, fear of judgment. No one is listening. No one is correcting. No one is waiting. Just you, your voice, your English. And that safety is powerful. What talking to yourself really means. Let's be clear. This is not about long speeches. It's not about perfect sentences. It's not about sounding advanced. It's about daily, real, spoken English. Here's what it can look like. Describing what you're doing, talking about your day, explaining your thoughts, reacting to things around you, practicing simple opinions, not in your head, out loud, even quietly, even softly. Your brain needs to hear your voice using English. A simple example. Imagine this moment. You wake up in the morning. Instead of thinking silently, you say, okay, it's a new day. I feel tired, but I want to be productive. When you make breakfast, I'm making coffee. I need something warm. Today looks busy. Before work or school, I have a lot to do today, but I'll take it step by step. These sentences are simple, but they are real speaking practice. And real practice builds real confidence. Why this builds confidence faster than classes? Here's something most people don't tell you. Confidence doesn't come from knowing more words. It comes from using words without fear. When you speak to yourself daily, you stop waiting for perfect sentences. You stop translating every word. You get used to hearing your own English voice. You learn to keep going even when it's not perfect. That's fluency. Fluency is not perfection. Fluency is movement. And this habit trains movement. The hidden benefit. Thinking and speaking connect. Many learners say, I understand English, but I can't speak. That happens because thinking and speaking are separated. This habit reconnects them. When you speak your thoughts out loud, your brain learns to form ideas directly in English. You reduce the delay between thought and speech. You stop searching for translations. You start responding naturally. Little by little, English becomes a thinking language, not just a study subject. How long should you do this? Here's the good news. You don't need an hour. You don't need a schedule. You don't need motivation. You need 5 to 10 minutes every day. That's it. Consistency matters more than duration. 5 minutes every day is stronger than one long session once a week. When should you do it? The best time is when your brain is already active but relaxed. Good moments include morning routine, walking somewhere, doing household tasks, before sleeping, after watching a video. You don't need a special place. You don't need silence. You just need permission to speak. What if you don't know what to say? This is the most common question. And the answer is simple. Talk about what already exists in your life. You never run out of content. Here are easy prompts you can use daily. Talk about the present. What you're doing, how you feel, what you see, what's happening around you. Talk about the past. What you did earlier, something interesting from yesterday, a small memory. Talk about the future, your plans, your worries, something you're looking forward to. You don't need creativity, you need honesty. Mistakes are not the enemy. Let me say this clearly. Mistakes during this habit are a good sign. Mistakes mean you're trying, you're experimenting, you're pushing your limits. If you only say perfect sentences, you're staying safe. Growth happens slightly outside comfort. And because no one is listening, mistakes lose their power. That freedom is what later transfers to real conversations. Why this habit feels awkward at first? Let's be real. The first few days might feel strange. You might feel silly. You might feel uncomfortable hearing your own voice. That's normal. You're not bad at English. You're just not used to expressing yourself freely. That discomfort fades quickly. And when it does, confidence grows quietly. How this habit changes real conversations. After a few weeks, something interesting happens. You start noticing. Words come faster. Sentences form more naturally. You pause less. You panic less. You recover faster when you forget a word. Not because you studied harder, but because your brain practiced speaking daily. You trained a skill that matters most. A simple structure you can follow. If you like structure, here's an easy flow. Start simple. Say 2-3 sentences about your situation. Expand one idea. Add a reason, feeling, or example. React to yourself. Agree, disagree, or add a thought. Example, I had a long day today. I felt tired in the afternoon. But I'm proud that I finished my tasks. That's it. No rules, no pressure. This habit works because it's personal. Courses are general. Textbooks are generic. Apps are structured. But this habit is your life, in your words. And personal language sticks better. You remember words connected to your emotions, routines, and experiences. That's how native speakers learn. Not through lists, but through life. What happens if you skip a day? Nothing bad. You don't fail. You don't restart. You don't quit. You just continue tomorrow. Progress is built on return, not perfection. How to make this habit stick? Here's the key. Attach it to something you already do. Speak while making coffee. Speak while walking. Speak before bed. Speak after brushing your teeth. No extra time. No extra effort. Just a new layer to an old routine. A mindset shift that changes everything. Stop asking, is my English good enough? Start asking, am I using my English today? Usage builds ability. Silence builds fear. Imagine 1 year from now. Imagine this. You spoke English out loud to yourself for 5 minutes a day. That's over 30 hours of speaking practice in a year. No classroom, no stress, no pressure, just daily voice training. Now imagine how you'd feel speaking to others. That's the power of small habits. English speaking is not built in moments of pressure. It's built in moments of safety. And talking to yourself gives you that safety. So today, don't wait. Don't prepare. Don't overthink. Just speak. One sentence, out loud, every day. That one habit can change everything. If this helped you, keep going. Your voice matters. English is easy in your head, hard in real life. Let's talk about something almost every English learner has experienced. You're watching a video, you understand it. You're listening to a podcast, you're following along, you're reading an article. Everything makes sense. and you think to yourself, wow, my English is actually good. Then something happens. A real person talks to you. They ask a simple question, nothing complicated, and suddenly, your mind freezes, your heart beats faster, your words disappear, and you think, why is English easy in my head, but hard in real life? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. In fact, this is one of the most normal experiences in language learning. And today, I want to explain why this happens and, more importantly, how to fix it. This is not a problem, it's a stage. First, let me tell you something important. This situation does not mean you're bad at English, you're slow, you're failing, you'll never be fluent. It means you're in a transition stage. A stage where understanding has grown faster than speaking. And that's normal. Understanding is passive, speaking is active. Your brain and your mouth are learning at different speeds. Why English feels easy in your head. When English is in your head, several things are helping you. You're relaxed. There's no pressure. You're not being judged. You can pause. You can replay. You don't need to respond. Your brain has time. You recognize words. You understand meaning. You feel confident. This is language recognition. And recognition comes before production. Always. Why English feels hard in real life. Now let's look at real life. In real conversations, people speak faster. Accents are different. You can't pause them. You must respond quickly. Someone is waiting for your answer. And suddenly, English is no longer just language. It becomes performance. Your brain is doing too many things at once. Listening, understanding, translating, thinking, choosing words, worrying about mistakes, watching the other person's reaction. That overload causes silence. Not because you don't know English, but because your brain is overwhelmed. The silent gap. No one talks about. There's a gap between I understand English and I can speak English easily. This gap is invisible in textbooks, but very real in life. Most learners try to fix this gap by studying more grammar, memorizing more words, watching more content. But the gap is not filled with more input, it's filled with controlled output. The real skill you're missing. The missing skill is not vocabulary. It's not grammar. It's not intelligence. It's retrieval under pressure. You know the words, but you haven't practiced pulling them out fast, out loud, and without fear. That's a skill. And like any skill, it must be trained. Why your mind goes blank. Let's talk about the blank moment. When someone asks you, so, what do you do? And suddenly, nothing. That's not lack of knowledge. That's your brain entering defensive mode. It says, don't make a mistake, don't sound stupid, say it perfectly. And perfection blocks fluency. Fluent speakers are not perfect. They are comfortable continuing even when things aren't perfect. Thinking versus speaking, two different muscles. Understanding English is like recognizing a song. Speaking English is like singing it. You may know the song very well, but singing it out loud is different. Your voice shakes, you forget lyrics, your timing feels off. That doesn't mean you don't know the song. It means you haven't practiced performing it. Why more confidence is not the solution. Many people say you just need confidence, but confidence doesn't come first. It comes after repeated safe practice. Confidence is a result, not a starting point. You don't wait to feel confident to speak. You speak in safe ways until confidence appears. The key shift from thinking to doing. You don't need English to feel easy in your head. It already does. You need English to feel normal in your mouth. That only happens when speaking becomes familiar, your voice hears itself often, mistakes stop feeling dangerous, silence stops feeling scary. Why practice alone matters so much. This is why solo speaking practice is so powerful. When you speak alone, there's no pressure, no interruption, no judgment, no rush. You train the bridge between thought to words to voice. That bridge is weak at first, but every day you use it, it strengthens. Real life is not a test. Another big problem is mindset. Many learners treat real conversations like exams. They think, I must answer correctly. I must sound advanced. I must impress. But real conversations are messy. Native speakers hesitate. They repeat. They simplify. They correct themselves. Fluency is not perfection, it's participation. The goal is not fast speech. Let's clear another misunderstanding. Fluency does not mean speaking fast. It means speaking without fear. Slow English with confidence is better than fast English with panic. People understand calm speakers. They connect with relaxed speakers. How to move English from head to life. Here's the truth. English moves into real life when you speak before you feel ready. You allow imperfection. You repeat simple things often. You focus on clarity, not complexity. Complex English comes later. Simple spoken English builds the foundation. A simple mental exercise. Next time you understand English easily, pause and ask, could I say this out loud right now? If not, that's your signal. Understanding is step 1. Speaking it yourself is step 2. Both matter. Why progress feels slow but isn't. Speaking progress is quiet. You don't wake up fluent. You don't notice daily changes. But one day, you answer without thinking. You don't panic. You keep talking even with mistakes, and you realize something changed. It didn't happen in one moment. It happened in many small ones. Stop waiting for the right level. There is no level where speaking suddenly becomes easy. You don't unlock fluency. You build tolerance for real conversation. Tolerance for mistakes, pauses, imperfect sentences. That tolerance creates freedom. One honest truth. English is not hard. Speaking English under pressure is hard. Remove pressure. Add repetition. Add safety. And English slowly becomes part of you. Final perspective. If English feels easy in your head but hard in real life, that's good news. It means your understanding is strong. Your brain is ready. You're closer than you think. Now the work is simple. Speak more, in small ways, every day, without waiting. Your English is not stuck. It's transitioning, and that transition is where fluency is born. Keep going.